Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. Alright, fun episode. We're going to review Dark Web Miss Marvel #1 in the continuing, ongoing Dark Web, trying to cover all the Dark Web books. So here we have our 600 subscriber giveaway. When we hit 600 subscribers, we'll be giving this Marvel #1 variant away. All you have to do is like the video, comment down below, and be subscribed to the channel. That'll give you a chance to win. Now, as usual, we're going to be going heavy into spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled for Dark Web Miss Marvel #1, that's your warning. Next up, we always shout out the creative team, because without the creative team, we wouldn't have a comic book, right, guys? So on Dark Web Miss Marvel #1, we have the writer is Sabir Perzada, the artist is Francesco Mortorino, the colors are done by Don Sanchez Almara, letters by VC's Ariana Maher, and the cover by Marco Cicchetto and Matthew Wilson. And it actually is a super awesome cover. She's kind of a Mr. Fantastic Powers type character. That's I don't know a lot about Miss Marvel, but like I said, I wanted to read all the Dark Web tie-ins. So we start here, and Miss Marvel is basically in the midst of what's happening in New York City, right? All these what do you want to say? Inanimate objects are all coming to life, and so we see at a landfill a bit earlier, before everything has started, there's these two guards having a conversation, and they're kind of there as this event starts, as Limbo, Madeline Pryor starts banging on the keyboard, and everything starts coming to life, right? So they're in a pretty bad predicament, and one of the scariest things you guys can see here comes to life is one of these giant car grabbers comes to life. So yeah, it's not good. And this other kind of guy right here, and they give him a full page spread, so I'm going to show him. He seems to be somewhat possibly important. This guy appears from the junkyard area, I'm assuming, because we haven't seen him to this point, and I am following through the reading order. uh, and he says, I have a juicier meal in mind than just these guards here, basically. And then it goes to 2 hours earlier, so before the madness started. Kamala is with, and I apologize, I don't know all the side characters. So I believe this is her family. She's kind of talking with her family. They're at a mosque, and she's revealed to everybody that she now has a job with Norman Osborn at Oscorp, and seemingly, I believe it's her sister, kind of gives her a hard time about it, and is like, saying, but no, Norman Osborn would prefer to redeem himself from the comfort of his penthouse armchair, looking down at the rest of us, because deep down he hasn't changed at all. Ask Bruno. He had a job offer from them, and he turned it down. And so, as you can see, they're giving her a hard time about having accepted this internship at Norman Oscorp's Os because he's been a bad guy, right? And she's like, her retort is that you should give people a second chance. They kind of reply with, well, why all of a sudden do you want to be what does she say? What does she call it? Like a, yeah, they say, like, it seems like you're taking whatever comes your way, like saying that she had never had interest in being at a lab or science or anything like that before, so why all of a sudden? Her reply to that, I kind of think it's pretty good, so I'll read it. She says, Enough, both of you, okay? Maybe I don't know what I'm doing yet, but sitting at home writing fanfic and playing video games isn't a career. Maybe this Oscorp gig is a mistake, but it's mine to make." And so we see later that day, just very shortly, because still the nothing's come to life right yet. Um, she's kind of having this conversation with her lab partner at Oscorp. So she's at work. They introduce this new character to me. See who they Arjun. So they introduce this character Arjun, and they're both working. They've worked, it seems, a couple of times before together. And Arjun asks Kamala on a date, and she kind of it's to a concert of a band that she likes, right? And so her reply is that she's not sure if she wants to make it a date. And he says, "Totally. Don't worry. We can just go as friends, and it'll be fun. No big deal at all." Um, and so that kind of leads to her possibly going to say yes, and then he asks kind of an awkward question while she's still deciding. um, he says, "Can I ask you something? Is it a problem that I'm Hindi and you're Muslim? Like, if I was Muslim, would you have said yes to a date?" She's like, she still doesn't know how to reply. Or, they're not, as readers, they're not giving us an answer to where her emotions lie with this um, new possible love interest. Um, but before she can say anything and let us know if she's interested, the on the table the I'll show you guys the little table telescope for science comes to life, ends up knocking out Arjun, right? So Arjun is unconscious, and so Kamala kind of breaks into action, tearing off the civilian clothes, revealing her Miss Marvel under attire. And I just wanted to show off. I do really like this art. This art was awesome. And so she kind of starts fighting all these things that have come to life due to Madeline Pryor in limbo, right? So what's been going on? And so this is sort of taking place just at the beginning. So it's kind of just catching us up with where Miss Marvel's at in all this. So as all that kind of happens, she saves her unconscious lab partner that possibly she was going to go to a concert with, right? And who seems to kind of like her. And that obviously doesn't end up with her secret identity being revealed. He does, wake up and everything, and kind of has he doesn't he sees Miss Marvel, and he's like, where's Kamala? And her reply is like, "Well, I just saw Kamala over here, and she was worried about you." So yeah, and she kind of tells him, "Hey, it's it's time to go." They end up having a strange conversation where he asks her why she's fighting all this stuff about, did he go too far, asking Kamala earlier about the religious issue, right? And oddly enough, her reply is basically that maybe it has nothing to do with the religion, and maybe she's just not looking for a relationship right now. And he's like, "Got it. I'm sorry I overstepped." And at that point, she's kind of like, "It's time for you to go hide because there's trouble at the front door," as she sees Chasm, right? And so here's Chasm, and And they show this other guy too, like I said from earlier, so I feel like he's going to be important. He comments, or someone from behind him comments, should we go get her now? And he says, not quite yet. We have other business, more important business to attend to. And then Chasm ends up locking Miss Marvel in some sort of area with, as you can see, like he starts reading from this tome here, from this book. And kind of funnily, he's, may the Balakan bind you sideways to the other place. May the bleeding ones echo my plea. Halakadi Mandali, Kaba Danchala. Am I saying that right? And apparently he did, because through the portal she falls, and here she is, and she's like, this is not good at all. And that is where we leave Kamala Khan at the end of Dark Web Miss Marvel #1. And okay, so thoughts on the issue. I actually kind of had fun with it. It was a real breezy read. Um, I loved the art. The art is awesome. My big takeaway, I guess, from it was just it somewhat felt like a ongoing title, or, and I believe this is going to be a mini series. But I guess, what's interesting here, on this issue is, should they continue on with this title after the Dark Web issues? I'm actually on board. So hey guys, that's a big recommend from me here. I give Dark Web Miss Marvel a #1 a thumbs up. I watch other people's channels reviews, and not a lot of people liked this, and so hey, I always go into everything with an open mind, and it's just, it's whether I like it or not. I don't let anybody else's opinions affect how I see a book. So I honestly had fun with this, and were it to be an ongoing title, as it kind of felt, it felt pretty focused on Miss Marvel, on her family and side characters who were kind of jabbing her for having taken this job. Um, which I feel like, if she hadn't ever expressed interest in being a scientist before, that would seem kind of strange. And to at least address that for longtime fans of Miss Marvel is probably the right thing to do. I just, and I just had fun with it. The banter between her and the uh, and Arjun kind of seemed real to me, and I guess I'm interested in it from that aspect. Um, and she's just overall seemed like a fun. She's kind of got a, you can have fun with her character. Like, check out the front cover artwork. You know what I'm saying? She's just fun. I had fun with it. I recommend it. All right, guys, that's what I have. As always, we'll see you guys next time. If you watch this far into the video, hit the like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the algorithm. All right, guys.